Good afternoon, Teddies. Hope you guys are doing great today. As promised, we want to talk about a couple things. Obviously, I'm working on the Waterloo Gacy story that really just hasn't been told. And as I'm doing that, I'm seeing a lot of things that coincide with stuff I did when I worked at a sex offender treatment as a social worker. And when I was working at that sex offender treatment, the biggest thing that I noticed right off the bat was the dishonesty of the amount of victims that there was. So what we did at the sex offender treatment that was very unique is, in order to move through the phases, we had these sex offenders take what we like to call a polygraph test to, verify their truthful aspects of the behavior in the program. The first one was definitely based on how many victims they had. I can tell you this right now off the bat. Over 99% of them did not pass that test the first time. And a lot of it was revealing how many victims that they did have. So if we look at the Gacy file, I think one of the things that coincides with this is we know about 33 victims that were murdered, but we also know about a couple victims, 3 in Waterloo, Iowa, that he was charged with, 1 that he was convicted on. And so the question becomes, is how many victims did Gacy really have? And I really think we're scratching the surface at 33, because the percentages go like this, and these are just facts from working in that field for many years. Is usually the first time they did the polygraph, we probably got about 14 to 15% of the victims. Now, I'm not saying Gacy, we only got 15% of the victims that we know about now. I'm saying there's many more. And part of getting to the whole thing is figuring out what he did in Waterloo before he moved to Chicago after his 18-month prison sentence. Which is a whole nother part of what I'm reporting on, because I'm telling you, that time in Iowa is just very, very hard to define why he got a 10-year sentence but served 18 months. But neither here nor there at this point. We have to find every single victim. So I was kind of going to reach out to say, okay, how do we define what's a victim, what's not a victim? So typically, it goes through phases. The first phase is the fantasy phase. And in the psychology industry, we call that a deviant fantasy, where someone thought about deviant being someone under the age of consent, someone being not able to consent, someone's mentally handicapped, and or force. Those are the 3 deviant fantasies that we worked with. And as far as Gacy is concerned, I think he progressed, as most sex offenders do, to such a phase where he was murdering. So we got to get to all the victims. And, knowing that his wife was kind of part of this whole thing, especially in Waterloo, Iowa, Maryland was sleeping with some of his victims. This is how we uncover every single truth. So I'm getting down to the basics of what we're doing. And Teddy's, we are going to get every aspect. And as I think about all the stuff that I did do, in the social work world, I'm telling you, even the guys that are only convicted of 12-month sentences or whatever for what they got caught for, they had crimes that would make your stomach turn. And I want to go through that too. I think it's not fair for you guys to not know what's going on. And so that's part of what I'm doing and what I'm kind of getting to in these whole aspects. And so I appreciate you listening to Ted Investigates. But we're getting down to all these other aspects. And like I said, in Hannibal, Missouri, we found 3 more victims that are possibly Ted Gacy's victims. And it just hits the time frame. It hits the age range. There was no evidence of anything found. There was a clown in the aspect. There were so many things that we're finding. And we are digging I hate to say it, so damn deep, that I think everything that's coming out is just going to be amazing. So anywho, we're on the trail. We're getting going, and I gave you a little bit about my background, but we're excited to get more to you, and we are getting more to you. And we'll see you later on in the week. I'll do